Alrighty, folks. He's back. Yes, he is back from his Mediterranean cruise. The one and only Dion from Dion Talk. How you doing, buddy?
Howdy, I'm doing great. I recommend never paying for the Wi-Fi package on a cruise ship. It's not worth it. They literally block YouTube,
Ah,
Netflix,
yes.
and all of the things you would actually use the internet for.
There you go. There you go. Well, hey, something I thought I should do because you've been gone a couple of weeks is show you where I currently stand with this event that you challenged me to get going let's call it 3 years ago, right? The party at 50,000. I think you were around when I announced the dates, February 17th, February 18th, the location. I've now done a 10-minute walkthrough of it to show people how awesome the Blind Center is. But what I want to give you now is the agenda and the speakers. And I want you to kind of poke at it, ask questions, because I've been doing a lot of this solo now. So I need some help and advice.
Okay, so I've watched some of the videos. I watched the video with the walkthrough of the Blind Center, and then I haven't seen one with like the full lineup yet. I think you went through it on the update this morning.
Yep.
But I was in the middle of I was doing something on my rehab, which is weird because I'm way too lazy to actually do stuff.
So. You were probably picking up stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me show you this because I wanted everybody else to see it as well. So it is a 2-day event where we're doing it on President's Day weekend. So we're making the second day a full day versus a half day because people can travel on Mondays. So hopefully you can see this. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger. Can I make it bigger? There you go. So we're going to kick it off. The 17th, we'll do a little registration, some housekeeping, and then we're going to jump right into Jason and Jen Pritchard. It's going to be both of them. I wanted to start off the day with a couple because there's a lot of people that get into this business where one of the parties is maybe on or not on as much as the other. Jason and Jen obviously have an amazing story. Their story is so meaningful. It's in my second book where Jason quit his job, burned the bridge, charged his credit cards, home equity line, and just went for it. I think people need to ask Jen how comfortable she was with that. How did it go? Now, if you follow Jason and Jen, they're living the life most of us could only dream of. They travel, living 90 days. They're just doing all of this great stuff. So I thought it was important, if I'm going to focus on full-time employees, to get a couple up first. So that's going to be the first talk. Make sense?
It does.
Awesome. Then what I thought we would do is we would change it up. We'd bring on the deep-throated and just the guy needs to be on radio or something. And just, he's got a great voice, Brian Adamson. And he's going to be talking about out-of-state investing. And this is something that I think is becoming more interesting to folks. Brian Adamson is a great member of the team. So Brian will be up next. We'll go through lunch and then I'll stop. And then we're going to close out just before lunch with the CEO of Think Media. Sean Connell has graciously agreed to come out. He normally speaks in front of thousands of people. He's going to come to our event, talk to, roughly 300. And I want people to ask him, right? I am adamant that most folks watching this have a hobby or interest that could be monetized some way, somehow as a side hustle. And I think getting the CEO of Think Media, who's now helped thousands, if not tens of thousands of people move forward on that path, is a pretty big coup for one rental at a time. So that's the morning of day one.
So I think there's a missed opportunity every time you talk about Sean Connell. Mm-hmm. I watch a lot of his content, and what I tend to do is, there was a point in time where I was like, okay, how does YouTube work? How does the search engine optimization, what's the algorithm, like all the stuff that's just ethereal. And so I started watching his content, and I realized that almost every concept that he covers on growing a YouTube business is a business growing concept. It's not a YouTube concept.
Good point.
Like he'll go to the basics of, like, here's this statement from The Art of War comparing tactics to strategies, which I've taken, completely plagiarized, and put into my real estate education. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. He actually lives up here by me, not too far away from where I live. And I think anybody trying to go real estate needs to understand that even one rental is a business. And if you listen to people like Sean who've grown massive businesses and then broke it down to those teachable components, the way that I like to do, that's probably why I think I relate to him so much. It's not going there to see Sean to say, oh, how would you grow YouTube? every concept he's going to talk about, you can relate to how you manage your rental portfolio.
I totally agree. And you're right. Sean is amazing in so many different ways. And you're right. He is the YouTube guy, but he is so much more than that. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. I got to do a better job of singing his praises. So I think you're right. Then we're going to get into a lunch and networking. Again, the VIPs, which are sold out, they sold out in 48 hours. It blew me away. They're going to go off in a private room. We're going to have these speakers at different tables. So you're going to get to network and ask questions in a more intimate fashion if you would like. Everybody else, in general admission, there are going to be food trucks and plenty of places to feed you and entertainment and bowling and just all kinds of cool stuff to be networking. Then post lunch, we're going to get probably the hardest session of the day. It's always post lunch. We're going to have the one and only Adrian Hernandez, who, oh, by the way, was post lunch at the Fresno event that you and I were at, and he crushed it. He's going to be talking about mindset. And folks, we could be in a recession when this event goes off in Q1. It could be painful. We could be talking about bankruptcies and rising unemployment. But again, where great pain, there's great opportunity. And I think Adrian is just going to get us all on board post lunch. And again, you'll be able to ask him questions. Then we're going to get Beth, who has an amazing story. So many ways you can ask questions about Beth. She is a top 1% national real estate agent. She house hacked as a single lady. She is a real estate investor. She's doing big things. So there's lots of ways you can ask Beth questions. And then we're going to bring on 3 lenders that come to my channel every week: Matt the Mortgage Guy, Velocity Mortgage, and Convoy Home Loans. Because again, most of us need lending and different programs, different ways. We can talk about that. And then All Nighter Hider, one of the followers of One Rental at a Time, and I believe yours as well, he reached out to Simon from Uneducated Economist, and he wanted to come. So the Uneducated Economist is committed to come to our event, and he will close us out on day 1 session. What do you think of that?
No, I think it's a great lineup. I like the idea of having the lenders all in one group like that, because one of the things that's hard to get a newer investor to understand is that lenders aren't made the same, and their products aren't made the same from 1 month to the next or 1 week to the next sometimes. So to get them up there and to have them, because my questions are going to be, what changes cyclically through the year in like the last probably 12 to 24 months? Because people hear something from a lender, like we can or can't do that, and they think that's always that way.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then we will have a dinner event. We're going to go long the first day. This is off-site. This isn't on the strip. You can go watch the 10-minute walkthrough. Again, the VIPs will be in the back being fed, networking. General admission will have plenty of food options and entertainment. Then I am paying for a concert. The event center has a house band called the Broken Spectacles. We are going to have them host a concert for an hour. Then we will have the party from 9 to 10. I'm still putting together what that party might be, but we will celebrate a party. And that will be the end of day 1. So we're going to go quite long that first day. Then day 2, we're going to have Ty, one of my Friday experts and 30-year real estate veteran, talk about this. He's going to talk about creative financing and all these different things that he's done during the years. Then we're going to have Derek, that ADU guy. I think this is one of the strategies that makes sense for many of us at this point. Then we're going to have Dan Bird come on and talk about stocks. Then we're going to have Bo Eckstein talk about small business lending, buying boring businesses like Cody Sanchez talks about. So again, I think those 4 speakers just Tuesday morning is worth the price of admission. It really is aimed at full-time employees and covering a lot of ground, but that's day 2 morning.
I'm looking forward to that too. I've been at a couple of places now with that ADU guy when he presents, and I'm just fascinated by what he's doing, because I don't know, it's like he's operating at a different level, but he's so down to earth. Like no offense to Derek if he watches this, I don't expect the level of intelligence to come the way he communicates when he starts talking. Like, I don't have to say that in a non-insulting way. He's just so much.
He exceeds expectations.
He does, because he's just a normal guy. When you talk to him, when you're just sitting there having a conversation, he seems normal. But then when he starts talking about the concepts of the way he's running his business, I sit back and almost think I should take notes.
Yeah, where's my notebook? Exactly. Right. Yeah, I think each of these speakers, right? We're only through day and a half now. I put this lineup together to change lives. I think all of them will be putting out stuff to change lives. You just never know where people are at in this. But let's finish out the day. Then we're going to have lunch again. VIPs one place, plenty of lunch options, all that stuff. Everybody's taken care of. We're going to have Lance Lambert from Fortune. He reached out and said, I want to come. I want to come talk to the One Rental at a Time fans. He's a constant Thursday guest. He's going to come out, talk housing. And then the longest session of the day is the 4 Avengers. Millennial Mike, yourself, Matt, and I just on stage celebrating, where we've come, asking questions from the audience. But that's how I think we close out the day, is the 4 of us up on stage.
I like wrapping up with the 4 of us. One thing that I don't know if everybody realizes this, but we do the 3 Amigos recording every week.
Yep.
And it's me, you, and Matt. It really would be the REI Avengers, the 4 of us every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Mike brings in this other element of investing at a distance.
Oh, absolutely.
While house hacking, while being a single parent, while working as a first responder, like just very relatable, good information, and a different thing than the 3 of us do. But since I haven't been able to talk him into retiring yet,
yeah,
it still works and
he's
can't
got
make
that damn
every
job.
Tuesday recording, right?
Yeah, his schedule, folks, if you don't know, I think it rotates every 6 weeks. I would love to have him. I would love it to be the 4 Avengers or whatever we would call ourselves. It just doesn't, his schedule doesn't work with my rigid, everybody has an hour thing.
Yeah,
but
and
that's
if it
why,
was, I'm sorry, if it was just his like police schedule, we'd be like, oh, okay, this is when we can do it. But no, it's police and then SWAT. Like he's on the SWAT team, so that's random all the time. Hard to coordinate anything with him. So I'm super glad he's going to be there for the 4 of us to be together.
Yeah, I think, again, I thought about that because the other option, again, just brainstorming this, is I could have put Mike and Brian together, both out of state, but I wanted Mike with us to kind of close it out. So, that's what I've chosen to do. And then I still have invitations out to Anna Kelly and Greg Dickerson and several others. I don't know where we put them because this is already pretty full and balanced, but I reserve the right to change this, but this is where we're at right now. What do you think?
I like it. I do like that. I would recommend staying flexible for a couple of those people that haven't been able to respond yet, because it's a bit far out to plan things when, especially when you're financially free and can do anything. Sometimes you end up booking all kinds of things, and I'm seeing things overlap that I never expected too.
Yeah. No, I mean, Anna's, has to, she has kids in volleyball, and she's got all these things to work about. Greg Dickerson's running many different small businesses. So these are just people I need to follow up with in January, right? To see if February should work. So again, this may all change, but again, I just wanted people to realize I am trying to put on an event with the rock stars of the channel. I'm trying to put an order together that I think benefits full-time employees. My goal is to change lives. This is the current setup, which I think is outstanding. And, we still have about 130 tickets left, and it's just general admission for $199. So, I mean, think about this. We go 14 hours day 1. We go, I don't know what it is, 9 hours day 2 for, $200. And it's going to be a great value, I think.
So I'm going to be covering this in my live stream tonight too, just as one of the topics. But when it comes to events like this, I'm going to take a personal thing that I learned from when I first started working at the CDL school. I wasn't a teacher or an educator, right? I ran a martial arts studio, but that's very different than teaching like truck driving or real estate or something like that. But when I first started working at the truck driving school, there was a college federation. It's called the Northwest Career Colleges Federation. At the time, it was 112 vocational schools that had formed a federation for, lobbying and affecting legislation. I used to go to their conventions, their meetings, and the presenters in this format, it's great. You're going to hear questions that spark a thought that, you might not have thought to ask, and you'll learn from somebody else asking a question. But I would go to these events and I never knew what side conversation was going to happen. What random, just couple of people sitting on the side of the room would say something that would completely change the way that I looked at things.
Yeah.
And I really looked forward to going to those events, not so much for the breakout rooms, the breakout sessions, the death by PowerPoint, because it was an education format, right? So that was who those people were. I really looked forward to going and sitting down at the table and having lunch with the CEO of like a 17 campus college that I would never have a chance to meet, but then getting a whole hour of asking questions and getting that regular conversational tone. Because a lot of times when you meet somebody, first few minutes is kind of breaking the ice. Last few minutes is wrapping up. You get very, very little time in the middle to actually exchange real information. That's what's going to happen at this event. 2 full days of having side conversations. For me, that's it's the best thing I think about going, almost no matter who's presenting. It's what you're going to hear on the side.
Yeah, that's something that's really jumped off the page for me as well, is the people that are going to come to this event are actually doing it. Right. I don't attract people in the parking lot. That's you. I ignore those folks. They're just noise to me. People coming to this event are in the stands or even in the arena, right? Where the lumberjack plays. And I think all of these sessions will be life-changing, but you're right. You may get into a conversation with another, ticket holder that changes your life. There are going to be plenty of selfies and pictures and hugs because this has been going on 5 years, right? This started, I think, February or March of 18. And a lot of people have been around for multiple years. So there are going to be people that have corresponded in our world meeting face to face for the first time.
Yeah.
I look forward to some of that. So I am proud of the current agenda. It exceeds my high expectations. I do reserve the right to change them as we get more commits. But this is all you, man. You threw the gauntlet down 3 years ago. So this is just as much mine as yours.
If I remember right, I think it was the purple beard at 10,000.
Yeah.
Or was that a certain amount of money towards the food bank?
It was the 500 challenge. You made me do purple hair.
That's what it was.
It was purple hair at doing 500 cards, and we did it. And so
well, I'm gonna have to put my
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to think of the next challenge to spend your money.
Can you just stop for a minute? I'm still writing big checks to get this together. So I just wanted to thank you. I would not be doing this if you didn't throw this down 3 years ago. I'm glad we've talked about it, a couple of times a year, just so it's fresh in both our memories. But it's becoming real. It's becoming real. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. Where can people find you?
Between now and when this event happens, I'll probably be in Thailand, but you can find me here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom. And I will be flying from Thailand to Vegas for the event. So, I'm very much looking forward to being there.
Make sure you fly in a couple days early. We don't want tired Dion. We want you resting. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Well, thanks, Dion. I appreciate you.
Ciao.